Hi, friend. How are you today? No music, just me chatting, saying hi while we wait for the show to begin in a second. So, do you have a podcast and it's taking you ages and costing you quite a lot of money to edit it and upload it? Let's get into it now. So, I have an amazing information about an amazing software that has just um, blown my mind really with what it has added and into the brilliant things that it already does. I absolutely love this software, which is a game changer anyway, and it's just added some more fantastic stuff for us to help us to get our word out there. So, are you somebody like me who really is challenged by energy levels? I'd love to know if in the chat, are you somebody who you can maybe do a live show, you can do a podcast, you can do some of your content creation, but after that you need to rest. You can't spend hours then uploading it and repurposing it into different pieces of content. My doggy's wanting to say hi just here. um, so does that apply to you? It certainly applies to me, and I'm always on the lookout for really great value softwares that can help me to automate my processes, to be able to get my voice out in all the different places without it taking a whole ton of time. So let me bring you in with some of the typical problems that people have when they're thinking about podcasting or when they're actually going to podcast. So today we're going to focus on what podcasting software am I talking about that is so incredible, its pros, its cons, if it's got any, and solutions. So first of all, I'm going to be just chatting about what problems people generally have with podcasting, and keeping doing their show, but doing it in a way that they can edit it really easily to a very high standard, with not a lot of stress, not a lot of knowledge and things like that. So let's have a little chat about the problems that people generally have. So one of the things that people struggle with is the confusion over, okay, I think I can get my head around recording something, even that, if that's on your phone or whatever it is. But what do I do then? Do I need loads of different programs and softwares? Do I need to spend a lot of the time doing that? So people get confused. That is one of the main problems that we can have when we're podcasting. Just getting confused. So let me know in the chat, have you podcasted? Are you thinking about it? Or maybe you go live. Let me know which of those, because this is about repurposing. So it can be to do with a live. It will be relevant for you as well. So is time a factor for you, that you don't have lots of time, that you don't want to put into editing? There are some people who are brilliant at editing, audio editing, and they love it. It's their jam, and they can spend a long time tweaking things, buying bells and whistles package software to help them to make a brilliant podcast at the end of spending quite a long time. That is brilliant. So this training really isn't for you if you're somebody who loves spending loads of time doing that. Some of you, it's disk space or computer issues. You don't have a computer that's quite up to scratch. Maybe it's a lack of knowledge of how to use different softwares or what to do. This software can really help with that. Maybe it is the cost of having different programs that's your issue, or finding different music that you are allowed. There's no copyright problems. You're allowed to use them on your podcast. So I'm going to be dealing with all that today. So let me welcome in my podcast listeners with this short intro, and hang on in there. Let me know, are you a podcaster? Are you a budding, wanting to be podcaster, dreamer podcaster? Or are you somebody who creates other sort of content? What sort of content do you create? Let me know, and we'll be back in a second.
This is the Thrive with Live show, the podcast where you can learn to go live with poise, professionalism, and peace of mind. Live video is the best free tool to win clients and grow your income and authority. So, if you want to ditch the overwhelm and confusion to skyrocket your online success through the dynamism of live video, then you are in the right place. This podcast covers all aspects, from your mindset, voice, style, and personal branding to all the technology and tools you need to get started and grow with live video. And now, here is your host, Katy Simpson.
Welcome to the Thrive with Live show. Today we're talking about possibly the best software in the world for podcasters. And this software has just got miles better from what it was anyway. It's one of my favourite softwares anyway, and it just has blown my mind. So I'm really excited about sharing with you this exciting tool today. So people who dream about podcasting, are on the cusp of podcasting, people who do live video and want to repurpose it into a podcast, or people who are podcasters already but just struggling to keep up with all the editing and uploading. The problems that they generally have in our minds, we have problems over what softwares do I need? How do I start? Do I need loads of different softwares? Are there loads of fees to do with these softwares? Do I need a really expensive computer, really fast computer? Do I need to be able to have loads of disk space to be able to download stuff? How long is it going to take me to get used to learning these softwares and learning how to create a great show? How do you upload to Apple and Spotify, etc.? How do you edit? How do you make your podcast show sound fantastic? How do I repurpose it easily without taking me ages? How long is it going to take me to make my show? I'm going to answer these hopefully today with you. So we're going to be focusing on what podcasting software am I talking about today, the pros and cons, possible cons of it, and the solutions. So let's get into it. So the program that I am discussing with you today is called Alitu. It's not that well known yet, and I'm excited to get the word out a bit more about this amazing software. It is now an all-in-one platform for podcasters. You can record in it, you can record with a guest in it. You don't need to use Zoom. If it's a remote guest, so over the internet, you can use it. You can edit that. You can transcribe, or it can transcribe automatically your words. It makes it into a video that you can use in your repurposing automatically. It automatically levels out your audio without you having to do anything, and removes any background noise without you having to do anything. In fact, it tells you to go and have a cup of tea. One of my favorite things about it is that it makes it very visual for you and fun and easy. You can see all the different bits of your audio clips in front of you, and you can move them around. You can fade one out, one in, and make your show into a really professional show. Another thing that's amazing about it is not only does it have a free music library that you could use behind your intro and outro. You can have that. You can have music going on throughout your show if you want. But what's really great is that it adds other things that is very, very difficult to find on the internet. It will give you, if you choose a particular style, there's loads of different styles of music, and you choose, a particular type of vibe or whatever. It also gives you little stings, short versions that you can have as little asides in your podcast, so that you can be giving maybe your first point and then hi guys, it's just me telling you about this new offer I've got, or I made a mistake, whoops, anyway, we'll carry on now, or something like that. And that just adds something brilliant to your show. It just really, really helps to break up your show and make it, a lot higher level of professionalism and fun for your audience. So you don't need loads of softwares. You can just have this one software, and it will save you tons of money. It will also save you tons of time, partially because it's very, very easy to use, but also because if you sign up with my link, you get my free course with it as well. And you can ask me questions on my own. On your own, you can ask me questions. So yeah, it really is I think a no-brainer. You don't have to have a particular type of computer. You can have a Mac computer or a non-Mac Android computer, because it's on the internet that you access your Alitu account. And it stores all your audio files. If your computer is really slow, you don't want to download all your stuff and then upload it somewhere else to what we call a hosting platform. Alitu just creates a little music library of all your stuff. It's all there in front of you. All you do is just click what you want and add it. You don't have to download anything. And if you don't want Alitu to actually host your podcast, you want to do it within, let's say, Anchor or Podcast, Libsyn or Captivate FM or some of those other hosting platforms. By the way, if you don't know what a hosting platform is, it's somewhere that holds your files, audio files as it were, and it constantly gives them out to all the places. Amazon, Apple, Spotify, all the places where people love listening to their podcasts, and you don't have to do anything. You just set it up once, and it will take you maybe 5 minutes maximum to set it up in the first place, and then it does it all. So Alitu does that, but if you don't want it to do that, it actually links with a lot of hosting platforms. So all you have to do is press publish to, and then there's a list of the popular hosting platforms there, and it does it. You don't have to download it on your computer. So don't worry if you've got a computer that's really ancient. It's fine. It will work. It transcribes your words into a show notes that you can put on your website, and you can link a little radio player so people can listen to your show there. You can make a blog post out of the show notes if you want, or if you don't have time or energy, just plonk the show notes onto a page on your website. And then that will help your SEO, that will help Google. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying it so far. Great to see you here, Judith. Thank you so much for coming. Oops, There we go. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you're all right today. Lovely to see you. Yeah, so I adore Alatu for lots of reasons, and I think Judith would probably maybe agree with me with this, because both she and I absolutely love purple colours, and Alatu is purple with a bit of yellow in there as well. And it is just so colourful. If I just bring you into, let me just check a moment, my episodes. Let's bring this down a moment. Oops. Oh, there's a new version. How exciting. Let me try and get rid of that. Oh, don't want to delete the episode. Can't get rid of that at the moment. So if I just bring you into my episodes here, for example, let's just say that we want to edit this episode. So this is my episode from last week, the Thrive with Live show last week. So in front of me, in front of you, and we can scroll across and see my whole episode. This is how I made up my podcast from my live video, just like I'm doing with you. So people who are listening on the podcast, I've just brought up what we call in Alatu the episode builder. And basically on the screen there are squares in a horizontal line, and they're coloured. So some of them are light blue and some of them are purple. So basically the light blue ones are like the music one, the clips of audio that I've created that have got music in. The ones that don't have music in are purple. So it's so easy to just sort of drag and drop your intros, your main bits of your episode, your little asides and things, and fiddle around with them. You can move them about, you can edit them, you can add to them. Another thing that's so easy, there are in between the squares, there are little circles in between, and one of them has got sort of wavy lines. And if I click that, what it shows you is, on a really good podcast, you will hear that the music fades out and then the voice comes in for the next section. You don't hear these sort of sudden changes from one thing to another. So that is called transition and overlap. And Alatu makes it so easy and fun to do this. So if I want to fade out my main episode and then fade in my bit of music, I can have an overlap and I can choose however many seconds I want. So I'm going to do an overlap of 4 seconds. Now you won't hear this brilliantly through the computer. Let me just check a moment, bear with me. Okay, hopefully we won't get feedback from the sound, but let me just play you. So I'm going to fade out me talking in the main part of my episode, and I'm going to fade in the music at the same time. And at the moment it's fading out for 4 seconds. So I'm just going to preview that. So it's going to fade out in a few seconds. Ready? It's going to start fading out now. Do you hear that sounds? You can't hear it brilliantly, but it sounds seamless. It just sounds like I've recorded all the things and taken hours and hours doing it all in some program. I'm going to take off the changes there. So it sounds like, you know, I've spent a long time fiddling with these things to make it sound exactly right. And it's just Alatu. It does it, and you can change how long you want the transition for. If you don't want your voice to fade out, which I generally don't want to do that. The main part of my episode, I want to have my voice to be heard loud and clear throughout the whole thing. I just want to fade in the music and out the music. So I do it like that, and I actually do quite long fade out, so I end up talking over the music, which, you know, it really does sound like you've spent ages putting the music carefully in a specific place, and actually it's so easy. So Judith says the branding looks lovely. Yeah, I thought you might like that, Judith. I love it too. The letters are nice and big and round, and the whole thing is really simple to see what you're doing. Very, very simple. And I think it makes people realize that podcasting doesn't have to be really complicated and sort of overwhelming and things. So I am just showing on the screen episodes that I have created before that have been published in Alitu or imported from my previous podcasting host, because I now use Alitu as my podcasting host since they do that now. And it's so easy to edit an episode. And if I edited it, amazing thing is that it automatically, Alitu will send that out to all the places. You know, maybe I made a mistake in when I was quickly editing it before, or I put some information there about something that's expired now and I want to change it. You can do it easily, and Alitu will do it for you and send it out to all the places. So how cool is that? So another amazing thing about Alitu, maybe by now you'll get the hang that I actually quite like this software. Oh dear, let's do an air horn. I do. I absolutely love this software. Yeah, Alitu, fantastic. What I want to know is why they called it Alitu. I'm really fascinated to know that. But there's another amazing thing about Alitu. If you're not the sort of person who adores spending ages poring over what we call a waveform, you know, where you see your voice going on these little waves. If you're not somebody who loves poring over every little bit and tweaking it and editing that out and changing that sound and, you know, adding this sound, adding that, whatever, Alitu does it all for you, and it actually tells you while it's doing it to go and get a cup of tea. What a good idea. Go and get a cup of tea. Who doesn't like that? A podcasting software that tells you to go and to get a cup of tea while it does it all for you. I mean, what is there not to love, guys? What is there not to love? So what it does when you're making your cup of tea or your cup of water is that it automatically levels out your audio. So have you ever listened to radio in the car? This doesn't happen so much now because it's digital, but analog radio, and you go to one station, you're a bit bored with that, so you change stations, and suddenly it's either really loud, you know, and it almost makes you frightened when you're trying to drive, or it's really soft and it's annoying, you've got to change the volume and everything. The same can happen with podcasting. If somebody isn't using good software or really au fait with their podcast, so it's not really professional sounding, they might not have leveled it. Alitu will do that so that you don't get these big spikes in volume, and it will be the right overall volume for podcasting. It also eliminates any annoying background noise without you having to do anything noise removal, which means you get a great sounding show without splashing out on professional level gear. So it is like a game changer for lots of us, and now that it does hosting as well, it's even better than that. And in a minute, I'm really excited to share with you uh, a special offer that they've given me for my audience, which I'm really grateful to them for, and it is mega. It saves £264. I'm pretty sure I'm right with that. It will save you $264. Um, American dollars. It will save you. It's quite mega because they're going to give their own free training with it, as well as some other things. So I'll talk about that later. So another thing that Alitu does is that it repurposes your stuff into a video. Woohoo! So let me just show you a tiny little clip of the video. At the moment, their video is a bit of a basic level, but at least it's done it. And you can share that on YouTube or wherever you want. So let me just show you a tiny little clip of that. In today's show, I'm going to be talking about some specific difficulties, challenges with doing demos for cooking or fitness. It could be knitting, crafting. So it was cutting out, if you're watching live, cutting out the edges of the video so that the script was a bit far across, but you get the idea. So it created a video of my whole podcast like that so that I can share that to YouTube if I like, because YouTube does often have a podcasting section to it as well. So a lot of people use Zoom for recording their podcast. And then they have the problem of, oh gosh, you've got to pay for Zoom, even if it's just the two of you now, haven't you? Now, Alitu does all this for you. So let me just show you how to do that. So for podcast listeners, I am showing my screen at the moment, my Alitu screen. And it says here, record a call. So you can basically do an audio Zoom or a phone call, a Skype audio with your guest at the moment. Just bear with me a second. So yeah, you can do this in Alitu. There's no extra cost at all. It's so easy to do, really easy. So you just choose your name, you choose the microphone that you want to be using. So I never use my webcam microphone. That's terrible. So I use my wonderful Heil PR40 microphone. Really recommend it, but it is a pro level microphone. So if you see in the description and you're interested in knowing what I recommend, you will see a link to my kit list. It's just an Amazon kit list that shows you what I recommend, and there's a microphone in there. Black Friday sales will be coming up soon, and this microphone is almost always in the sale, and it's only generally about £70, maybe $80 anyway. So, and that's a really good microphone. So basically, bringing us back to this, all you do is choose your microphone, put your name in, and then you can press start, or you can press invite people. If you press that, you can just get it gives you a link, a one-time link. You can just copy that where it says copy, and then send that to your guest. So maybe you talk to your guest on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or text or email, doesn't matter, wherever you talk to them, you can just send them that link and they can hop on with you straight away. And then you just press the big purple button, start. And here it is. If you're seeing on the screen, you can see that it's showing that my sound level is just going forward and back, just like when you see your audio levels on any software. And you can just, it's the recording is starting and it's going up. You can see how many seconds, and when you want to end it, you just press the big red button, this time end call, and then it's created your episode. You go to episodes and it should be here somewhere. It normally is. Oh, I think it's called it that. Yeah, updated 10 minutes ago. So it creates an episode just straight away. There's no learning confusion over that. It's just so easy. It's just a link, and as long as your guest has a microphone and they can click on that link on their device, then you're up and running and you can start creating your podcast. It really is a game changer. It's fantastic, and it's a lot of fun. Takes the stress out of making a podcast completely. So let's just quickly show you how to actually edit something. So say you've created something and you just want to edit it. So we can go into an episode and a clip that I've created earlier. So a little robot comes on the screen moving around, quite cute, and he's purple, and it shows you the waveform of what you have created. So you can play it. Now this one isn't I think it's just sort of recorded computer sound or something, because the people who can see on the screen, the waveform isn't going up and down much. It's fairly straight all the way through. So I'm not going to play it for you, but if you do play it by just pressing the play button and you find that you've made a mistake, you just click on where that was with your mouse and just go to the right, and then you will see these red hashes. And all you can do is delete that bit. So you can go wherever you want and delete the bits that you want. And that's so easy. If you can't see what you're doing, you can zoom in a bit more. Or if you need to see more, you can zoom out. If you need to play it back faster because you've got such a long episode and you're trying to get through it, or you need to go slower because you weren't quite sure what they said there, you can just press the little clock icon. It is just so user friendly. Now, one bonus tip: if you want to create your live show really quickly, your podcast rather, or like I do and I teach, going live and then repurposing that into a podcast. If you want to do that really quickly with the editing process and you're not really bothered about editing the middle of it, or maybe it was fine, you just coughed in the middle, you can see where the spike of the waveform is for a cough. Or if you make another mistake, just make a spike by clapping or clicking fairly near the microphone, not on top of the microphone, and certainly don't hit the microphone, but you will see a spike in the waveform. It's easy to see. You'll be able to find it straight away. And the other tip is that everybody at the beginning and the end, they always have a breath in, welcome, blah, 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 and then maybe a breath out, or a big pause at the end before you've finished your section. So we call it, if you just edit the beginning and the ending, can you guess what we call it? Have you ever cut up vegetables? So I always knew from when I was young, topping and tailing vegetables. So that's what you do with your podcast as well. You can top and tail it. You can just pull your mouse along and delete the beginning gap, and do the same with the end as well, topping and tailing. Yeah, so Judith, you're absolutely right. It is clever and simple, and I'm glad you're seeing that as well on the screen. Yeah, game changer. Right, guys, so thank you so much for being with me. Don't go, because I'm going to give you a mammoth special offer now. But just before I do, I'm going to do a speedy recap. And I have my phone next to me now. So this is Repurpose City going on. I've got my little remote with me. So I'm going to do a speedy recap of the amazing, wonderful benefits of Alitu. By the way, before I do that, cons with Alitu, things that aren't quite as brilliant as Alitu. For editing, as I said, if you're somebody who adores spending ages poring over, making the levels, mastering it, compressing it, whatever, Alitu really isn't going to be for you. You're going to find it limiting, because it does all these things automatically for us. We don't have to do anything. So it's not going to give you all those, tweaks that you might want to do. Doesn't mean it's not professional sounding. Don't get confused with that. The other thing is, if you tend to record your podcast episodes with somebody else in person, and you both use different microphones, Alitu recording doesn't do that, but you can still edit with it. So let's just do a speedy recap. Let's see how fast I can do this with Alitu. Okay, so stay with me and I will get to this amazing offer that we have in a second. So, are you somebody who wants to podcast, but you're confused about all the technology, all the tools that you need, all the expense? Do you need a really special computer? Do you need loads of knowledge? Do you need to buy big training courses to help you get around all this confusing software? Don't worry, I've got the perfect solution for you, and it is Alitu. Alitu is now an all-in-one software. It's really user-friendly, great to use, very, very visual, so you can see easily how to edit your show, how to record your show with your remote guest if you'd like to do that, how to add your intro and your outro very visually, how to bring sounds up and down very visually, so you don't need a whole load of expensive tools. And also, you don't need to hook up all the time with Amazon, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It does it all for you. It uploads to those places for you. It's a game changer, believe me. And it also can repurpose your show into a blog, into show notes, into a little video that you can put on YouTube, and it automatically levels out and makes your podcast sound fantastic by automatically removing any annoying background noise. If you're like me, your dog barked as somebody started mowing the lawn, your bell rings, oh no, it automatically gets rid of all that and makes it sound great. And they have a special offer for you, so if you see above or below, you will see what that special offer is. Right, guys, so I'm here again with you. So that special offer that I was telling you about. Now, Alitu normally costs, I think it's $32 a month. Don't quote me on that. You get a 7-day free trial, and they are giving at the moment, for a limited time only, let me bring this on, it is your 7-day free trial, and your first month for only $5. $5, that's about £3.50, guys. It's brilliant. And for my people, they are giving 6 months access to a fantastic training academy. It is also a community. It's called the Podcast Host Community. They do trainings on there in Slack. If you don't know what Slack is it's like a chatting channel, an immediate chatting channel, and they can put links and things there. You can chat to and fro from different people. So actually you can use it quite like Circle or something else, like a community. It's really great. And so for everybody, they're giving for my own clients, they're giving this for 6 months access, but there's also a training course about podcasting and leveling up your podcast. It's really fantastic. And for my people as well, I give training on exactly how to use Alitu, including their new things that they've added on there. So my link should be just above or below or to the side of this video. But you need to be speedy if you want to grab this first month for $5. So as I said, I think it's $32. You'll just go and click the link, the Alitu link with my name in it, and you will see for yourself how much it normally is. But if you think about that as being a piece of transcription software, it's instead of your podcasting hosting platform. Now, you can get a podcasting hosting platform for free with Anchor, and that's good, but it is quite limited in a lot of ways. And for me, the main thing that is really limited and basically I think non-existent on Anchor almost is its support. And podcasting, you want things to be working well. You get questions, naturally you'll have questions. I can't upload, it says an error on Apple or something like that, little tweaks and things, and you need somebody who's going to help you within the next hour. Alitu is great for that, and they're the same people, and you get a bit of a relationship with them. They're lovely, lovely people, very, very supportive and helpful. So you can do hosting free. I wouldn't recommend it, and certainly there's hardly any analytics or anything, and Alitu is getting better at that as we speak. So it's a hosting platform. It transcribes into you can use the words into a blog. It's going to create a video for you, so you don't need to use that. You don't need to buy an editing software. You don't need to buy Zoom or something like that. You can just use the call recorder within Alitu. There's lots of things that it will save you money for, and if you don't like it, you've only spent maybe nothing for your 7 days, and after a month you've only spent a few pounds. So I really recommend that you give it a go, even if you're just vaguely thinking about podcasting now. And I'm sure that you will have fun playing with it. And remember, you get my Facebook community with a free course that I've done for free with it as well, and my one-to-one help with it too. So there's nothing to lose apart from maybe £3.50 or $5. I'd recommend that you'd give it a go, guys, and I'd love to know if you're going to give it a go, and get your voice out there. And as I say at the end of my live videos on the Thrive with Life show, count your blessings, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys, thanks for watching.